It's on.
Good morning. It is April 7th, 2020. We will call the Wright County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. And we do have Commissioner Burrell and others that have joined us remotely. So we'll be hearing from them as we go along. So the minutes from 3/24/20. Want to have a chance to go through those?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Delyden, second by Commissioner Vetch. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Then we have,
The roll call.
oh, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Thank you for reminding me. Remind me every week because it's different. We have a roll call vote, starting with Commissioner Potter.
Aye.
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 Commissioner Crowe? All right. Passes 5-0. All right. The county board minutes from the 2nd of April. Everyone's had a chance to review those.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Delight.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Potter. All right. Commissioner Potter. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote.
Aye.
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 All right. Passes 5-0. Review and approval of the agenda. Is there anything that needs to be added or deleted? Hearing none, I'll look for a motion.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Delyden,
I'll
Second.
Good.
second by Commissioner Vetch.
Okay.
Is there any discussion? All right. Hearing none, roll call vote.
Aye.
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 All right, motion passes. Agenda is approved. The consent agenda. Is there anything that anyone would like to remove for further discussion?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve today's consent agenda.
Second.
Right, motion made and seconded. Just one little discussion point. Under administration, the number 1, the section 312, Federal Families First Coronavirus Response Act. I was notified that there is a little correction on 312.08. In the heading, benefits is not spelled correctly. It's missing an E, so just a little typo on that. Otherwise,
Sean, did you forget to use spell check?
all right. Any more discussion? Hearing none. With that change, roll call vote.
Aye.
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 All right. Consent agenda passes. We move on to our timed items for today. Chief Deputy Matt Treichler. And, or Sheriff Derringer.
Do you want,
I feel like I'm,
You guys,
right
I'm
up
sorry,
there?
yep.
you guys stand right, no, right around here.
Right.
Charlie can't hear you otherwise.
I'll kind of, I'll make sure we're 6 feet
Right there
apart
is
here.
good.
and-
can you hear me, Charlie? So we are requesting a public hearing on a couple of items that we would like to change on our fee schedule. And it has to do with gun permits, so I could certainly answer any questions. I know that the chief deputy sent you guys what we were talking about. I do have a couple of changes to that for your consideration as we hopefully would move into a public hearing. I had a conversation with Charlie. I was going to give him the credit for it. I'll mention it. And but he thought I wanted to include U.S. military veterans to the reduced fee or gun fee from $100 to $25. And he also thought that it would be a good idea, as military spouses oftentimes have a great deal of latitude or commitment for those veterans as well. So we would like to also include military veterans' spouses. And according to Greg, he was able to, Charlie spoke to him last week, he would be able to craft a letter. Basically, we have those documents. We don't want somebody to come in and claim that they're a spouse when they're not a spouse, or maybe they've been divorced for 10 years and they're just using that. But he has a system that he would be able to verify, craft us a letter, and they could submit that with their paperwork. So we do, in fact, we're able to corroborate it. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anything we can do. I mean, the only thing we need to work out is, because sometimes it can take a while if I don't have their documents.
Sure.
So we need to, if we do this, there needs to be some lead time for them to check it before they come in, because it may take a month or two to get their records.
And we could direct them to your office, and then they could submit all that paperwork at once. And so if it's done ahead of time, it doesn't change anything on the back end of our process.
Perfect.
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Glyden?
Sheriff, now this is for Wright County residents only, or are we going to allow this for any county resident?
I can only,
Do it
I
for
can
Wright
only
County.
authorize that for military Wright County residents.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure of that.
Yep. And the one other addition is I would like current and retired law enforcement from any agency in the state who resides in Wright County to fall under that $25 umbrella. And I thought about, well, military spouses, it would be nice to include their spouses. However, I feel like I have to draw the line somewhere, and we would not be able to verify those credentials of a spouse of a retired or current law enforcement officer from throughout the state. It would be more legwork for us, and we don't want that. Plus, I have to be able to generate enough income I don't want to go backwards. We have a slush fund built up now, but I would like to be able to maintain the current funding. So with those changes, I think that would about include it, unless you have any questions.
I guess it'd just be a question of when we could schedule this public hearing. Is this with unknowns?
So I hope Charlie can hear me if I do this. So we're going to have to be out minimum of 10 days posting. Typically, we run 2 posting cycles, so 2 weeks. My recommendation would be the soonest would be holding the hearing the end of April or the first week of May. Give us plenty of time. I should note that the newspaper moved up their publishing deadline to noon on Tuesdays, so that makes it challenging to get things turned around too. So just FYI.
Is there any particular time that you had,
For
Sheriff?
some odd reason, my schedule has really become wide open these days.
Surprising. Madam Chair?
Commissioner Potter?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Would it be okay to have April 28th at 10:30
That was what I was writing down.
as a public hearing?
10:30 or
10, well,
Or you go 10 o'clock,
9:30?
it could be 10 because we'll probably be done early.
or
with it.
9:30 even, because.
during the
During
During the board meeting, you could
Yeah.
have it during the board meeting, Tits?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep,
I'll
that's
do
we do.
9:30 if you like, 9:30.
I'll second that.
All right, if that's the motion, you got a second. Motion made by Commissioner.
Madam Chair, I missed the date on that. I heard the 9:30.
Yep,
April
April 28th. April 28th.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, if I might just I'll wait for you to ask for comments.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, so
Stay here.
any discussion? Charlie?
Madam Chair, I just wanted to thank Sheriff Derringer and also Director of Veteran Services, Greg Picard, for all their hard work on this, because I think it's going to be really important, and I know it's going to be well appreciated by any veterans and their families, and also for our law enforcement people. So thank you very much for bringing this forward.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for your comments. I totally agree.
Very good.
Anyone else? All right, roll call vote.
Aye.
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 All right. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Mr. Mark Matthijs.
Morning, Madam Chair, members of the board.
Morning, Mark.
Couple items of business. The first one is we awarded the campground bids to Peterson at Bertram a few weeks ago. During that meeting, you guys asked me to check out and bid out I had the Briarwood bids going out, Briarwood Improvements bids going out, and put an alternate on that bid to pave the campground road. So in front of you are the bid results. as well as a contract that would go to Knife River. They are the low bid. I can't remember what they're at. Knife River, $321,626.80 for the Briarwood improvements. We budgeted $175 for that. And then $91,000 for alternate one, which is the paving of the Park Road from Briarwood to the campground terminus. So the city of Monticello will be paying half of the $121,626.80 at a cost of $160,813.40. And then if you accept the alternate bid, that would put the county share at $251,913.40, leaving a about $77,000 shortfall. But if you look at the campground budget, we had some money in that. We had 60 grand sitting there for the paving. And then we have an additional 85 in contingency on that project that we have built into the budget. So with your approval, would look at entering contracts with Knife River on the Briarwood project, and with your recommendation would also include the alternate one project.
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Batch?
So we're burning about 17,000 of the 85,000 contingency with the 60 that we had in there for paving.
Right.
Yep. And then this is going all the way to the beach, from Briarwood to the beach.
To the campground.
To the campground, yeah.
There'll
Okay.
be
We're not doing that roundabout.
No, there'll be an apron
Okay.
there, and there'll be an apron on the main parking lot.
Okay. Perfect.
Madam Chair?
Yes,
I'll
Commissioner?
make a motion to accept the bid and award contract to Knife River, authorized signature for the Briarwood Avenue Northeast Improvement Project, and to utilize the contingency fund for the campground.
I'll second that.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Delyden, seconded by Commissioner Batch.
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Batch?
Mr. Mattias, thank you for your work on this. I think this is definitely going to clean up the whole project out there as a whole. Now that the city's got the other side of it all paved down their entire parking lot, at least our entrance can be paved in, so.
They are paving?
Their lot's paved over there by their soccer field over there.
Oh, it is?
I'm almost certain there was pavement.
I didn't think
I
so.
could have sworn, I thought I seen pavement over there.
No.
Is it,
No, unless they have plans this summer.
Yeah, it isn't paved.
I could have sworn I drove by the other day, it was paved when I went by there.
Well, maybe I missed something.
Maybe I did too.
I don't know north on that.
I mean, because they got the lights all out there, so
Yeah, they got the lights out.
The lights out there.
Put a bunch of boulders around the edges.
It's because,
Madam Chair.
All right.
now I'm gonna have to drive out there
I'm not gonna
again.
argue with you because
I'm not either, I could be wrong, it looked like it was paved, so.
Commissioner Potter?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner Delyden, did your motion include the alternates?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
yes.
because I didn't catch that one.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't catch that either.
yes, to be
Thank
the
you.
alternates. Yeah,
Thank you.
because it's gonna, with the traffic going into the campground, what's that? To not have that blacktop there, it's gonna create an issue, I feel.
So much dust,
and
yeah.
actually in 8 years, Madam Chair, we put $2,000 into chloride treatment, so in 8 years it actually,
Oh,
that 16,000 we're taking out of the contingency for the
Yep.
campground project, kind of pays for
the
itself.
same.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
kind of a no-brainer when you look at it that way.
Yeah, for sure.
And Madam Chair.
Commissioner Potter?
Yeah, I just wonder with the alternate bid, it's not going to get any cheaper, it's not going to go away, just get it done. We got the bids, you got the people here now, just get it over with.
Yep.
I think the pricing came in fairly reasonable anyway.
I thought it came in fair.
Yeah.
I like things a lot less expensive.
Yeah.
We all do.
Well, free's always nice.
What do you do?
All right. Any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Aye.
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 All right, motion passes 5-0. And then number 2.
Second order of business is myself and Brad and Josh, our maintenance supervisor, has developed for your consideration kind of our operations plan moving forward. In the plan, I don't know if you had the chance to review it. There's obviously 4 options as we move forward. It's opening as normal, a limited opening, delayed openings, and full closures of these facilities, which would be campgrounds and swimming beaches and picnic shelters, and basically everything that moves forward with the parks. We don't want to make the decision based off of being scared, or we want to follow CDC and public health. And the governor is, as their orders come out for public accommodations and social gatherings, if they lengthen those days, we'd like to follow them. But what happens then is that we're refunding money. You know, if we have to cancel anything, we're refunding money. And our cancellation policy, we're keeping money on campgrounds and stuff like that. And if the governor, CDC, public health says campgrounds don't open till Memorial Day, we're gonna have to refund money. And I don't think it's fair to the user that we keep money, because we're canceling them. So that for you to approve our plan, it's some of the policies that we have in place for refunds and cancellations. We're getting some calls where people are just not comfortable right now with their May reservations for shelters, and it's like, okay, how do you guys want to handle that? Because right now our shelters, we don't refund. So this kind of lays all that out, down to, like, if our campgrounds are a limited opening where we stop taking reservations in May, but you can come if you're fully contained and the restrooms aren't open and the campground office is not open, they can still buy firewood and ice, but limiting concessions. If we have a delayed opening and that refunding policy, if we can't open on time on May 1st, or if it comes out that campgrounds and shelters and gathering places and parks are all done for the summer, I mean, scheduled stuff. So this does lay that all out for you fairly well, I think. I did run this by our park commission last week. I emailed them all and kind of did an email vote, and they said fine. And this would also give me the chance as the director, and then along with our operations manager, to enact these as we move forward rather than having to delay to go to the county board. And I thought it was pertinent to get it in front of you today. Otherwise, it would not be till April 21st. And then we're already having the calls. You've seen what Minneapolis Parks did with their beaches.
Yeah.
Gave us a number of phone calls, a number of people wondering what we're doing. So I don't know if I could read the whole 6 pages to you, but
Nope.
Madam
no,
Chair,
that's good because that's done.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Glyden?
we normally open up our beaches Memorial Day weekend.
We open them up Friday, the first Saturday in May.
Oh, our beaches, first Saturday?
Yeah, we'll have beaches in, we'll have the buoys in, we'll have the Greenview people coming in, mowing, cleaning bathrooms, everything like that. One thing we are doing this year, we usually have 6 seasonals at the shop. Knowing with social distancing, we're trying to keep people in their own trucks, trying to keep them wiped down. So we're gonna reduce 2 people this summer for seasonals in our parks, just in case that continues, for our employees' health and safety. I don't think we'll lose very much productivity that way. Got a couple big, huge projects with the Bertram Campground, finishing up Collinwood, Montecito Disc Golf. We're gonna lose something, but I think it's just better that we reduce that. So that's a little cost savings this summer, to reduce those seasonals. If you look at the campgrounds, if we end up going to a full closure, we'll have to make that decision at that time, but we're in the process of trying to fill positions for those, if they run full tilt.
Madam Chair?
Did I answer your question, or did I just screw it?
That's fine.
No.
Yeah, May 1st.
Regarding the refund policy, because of what has happened, I kind of agree, and I think the majority, or I think everybody on the Parks Board also agree, that we really should refund completely those people. It's only fair.
I agree.
It's no fault of their own.
Correct.
I can understand if, that they don't show up or cancel at the last minute, but for this situation, now, there's rumor that the governor's gonna do the stay at home till the end of April, kind of be the same as the president has stated. So I'd have to say that, people that are uncomfortable about renting the picnic, the pavilions and that sort of stuff, if they're uncomfortable with it, then they should get their money fully refunded ahead of time, and that gives it, a possibility for somebody else to utilize too.
True. Yeah, it's very difficult to know what's going to happen going forward. And, I don't know, I don't think I'd recommend closing everything for the entire summer at this point.
No.
That seemed a little premature to me, but
Very premature.
yeah, so, but certainly as we move forward, I mean, I completely agree. If people, they shut things down and they have reservations, it's not their fault.
Yeah.
So that's,
So the plan does talk about following CDC, governor, executive orders and public
Yep.
health, so, and then it lays out those scenarios for you. It's just for us to move quick, so like when we were getting, Minneapolis did what they did, we can respond and say, county board's approved a plan and this is where we're at.
yeah.
We can get that out so people understand where we're going.
Yeah, I think it's really, really good to get that out for people because, everyone's wondering what we can do and when we can do it and what, so it's tough. It's really tough, but,
I just would say, having read through it, it's very detailed. You covered, I think, almost everything you could possibly think of in your options. And as Commissioner Dahlheim said, I think the refunding is a no-brainer. So it has to be that way.
So, I mean, Madam Chair, you're gonna see a potential reduction in our revenue line this year because of this.
well, yeah.
If it gets to a point where it's a total reduction, you're gonna see some of the cost savings.
Did we approve his future payment based off of campground reservations?
Future payment. I'm sorry, I wasn't registering there for a second.
His salary. I mean, I thought it was.
I don't think there's
a decrease in campground reservations.
I don't think we have a strings attached.
Oh, we don't?
No.
His increase isn't tied to
Maybe we
revenue?
should talk
I do
about
not have
that.
performance. I do not have a performance bonus in my contract, like some wide receivers do.
You're not going to get enough touchdowns for us.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I really appreciate this, and I think it's well done and comprehensive and answers people's questions, so.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have a better idea that third week in April here on Tuesday to tell you where to go.
Yep. So I just, there's a lot of jurisdictions out there that are jumping and making their own decisions, and I don't want to do that. So I want to have it in front of you guys so
Yep.
you know
Appreciate
where
that.
we'll jump and how we will jump.
Yeah.
Well,
And react timely when things come out.
Commissioner Burrell, do you have any questions for Mark about this?
No, I don't.
Okay.
So
You had a motion a second. Right?
Is there a motion to
You had
accept
to
this
adapt his
plan?
plan.
Yeah.
No,
No, there's nothing.
I'll make a motion to accept this plan.
All
I'll
right.
second it.
I'll second that.
Oh, you got it. I'll give it to Charlie.
All right.
Good.
Motion made by Commissioner Deline, seconded by Commissioner Burrell. Any more
That-
discussion?
Yeah, my motion also includes to refund people's money.
yeah, that's
Oh, yeah,
That's part of the
that's in there,
plan.
yeah.
Well, there's some different options, so that's why.
Yeah.
To get it in there.
I'm good with that too.
Do
All
the right thing.
Sounds good. Any more discussion? Hearing none, a roll call vote.
Aye.
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 Motion passes
Madam Chair,
5-0.
just a quick information. We've been doing laminated signs at all our facilities that fall apart. So we have, yesterday, ordered up from the local printer here in Integra Print, election yard signs, so.
Beware of others.
So just stay safe, stay 6 feet apart, talks about social gathering places and how to limit that. So that's gonna be posted throughout the parks a little better than just laminated.
So are you going to do like the school districts and chain up the swings so you can't swing in them?
Playgrounds are not closed under the executive order.
Okay.
I mean, there was a lot of misconceptions about that, so we are recommending not to use at this time. That's how our playgrounds are signed. Some people have closed their playgrounds, taped them off and everything else.
They come with their,
Their wipes.
yeah, their wipes.
And they're keeping social distancing and they're comfortable as parents and whatever.
Yep.
You get 200 kids on a playground, don't do that.
Yeah, probably not good, so,
Keep the IT director off the playgrounds, right?
yeah.
That's right.
Likes to go down slides.
Somebody's email is getting
All right. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, appreciate it. All right,
And voted yeah.
and we have,
Yeah, we did.
We have to vote,
Yeah, we did.
so we have,
Voted on
We
it.
did we?
actually,
We did, yeah.
Didn't we?
I did write down, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had voted on
we
it.
voted.
Oh, the hardest
Charlie
working.
said yes.
So we have Matt Detson in for Bob Hevola, our auditor treasurer, and the first order of business is to approve a resolution, findings and order accepting viewers report and adopting redetermined benefits on County Ditch number 16.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. I was actually hoping to first hear item number 3 after
Oh, okay.
some discussion with Commissioner Burrell.
All right.
He had called me and was hoping to potentially table this, so that might affect other items on the
All right.
agenda for the resolution. So,
Madam Chair, if I might, I would make a motion to table this. I just have some questions. I've had a number of landowners talk to me about this, and I just need to do a little more research into it for this and also for Ditch 16. So I'd like to make a motion to table this at this time.
Item 3, correct?
So it would be,
1 and 3.
so
1 and 3?
you're moving to table item number 1 and number 3, Commissioner Burrell?
If I could do that both at once, I would do that, yes.
Can we do both at once?
And then, Madam Chair, just for disclosure, Commissioner Burrell, this is in terms of us discussing the valuations of wetland properties, correct?
It's that, and then other things too, Commissioner Vetch.
Yeah, because I just want to make sure that we realize that it really, I'm sorry, go ahead.
What, go ahead, Commissioner Burrell.
Oh, that was it. It's a number of things, actually, but that is included in it, too.
And Madam Chair, in response, I just want to make sure, Commissioner Burrell, it really pertains, some of it's going to pertain to more than just ditch 16 and 19, because a lot of it's more about a holistic approach that we may or may not take in regards to evaluating the ditches when it comes to the wetlands. So it's kind of more of a, I want to make sure that if we would have a discussion on it, maybe there would be a ditch committee of the whole, that we have the discussion about best practices and what's being done around the state in terms of valuation of wetlands and ditch systems?
Yeah, Commissioner Vetch, and if it comes to that, I would totally agree with that. I think I'm going to start off just trying to work some things out with Matt here, and then excuse me, I had my other phone went off here. But then if it does come to some changes that we might do, I would look at doing a committee of the whole as well.
All right.
I'll keep you informed on that, though.
So motion made to table item 1 and 3. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Vetch. Any more discussion?
Do we tabling it to a specific time?
I think it needs to be determined because there's going to take some time for Commissioner Burrell to get his information that we need. And then at that point, that'll decide whether he wants to move forward with this or not. And if he doesn't want to move forward with it, then we'll maybe have to have a committee of the whole about what this looks like.
And with everything being up in the air and, not everything is open, and so it's difficult to meet with people, and so there's some constraints going on right now, so I think that we should have this to be determined, and we'll set it up as soon as we can.
Talking about resetting some notices anyway to landlords about it, so tabling it for to be determined date would be fine.
Okay.
Madam Chair, one quick
Sure, go ahead.
question. Do we have any work being done on any of those ditches at all? Maintenance or?
I have about 8 outstanding repair requests from this year for County Ditch 19. It was one I was hoping to at least start on the repair plan with. I can probably still do that without the redetermination, but actually doing work is obviously tied.
That we can't do. At least we can get this is what it's going to cost and what it's all going to entail. Yeah, okay.
All right.
That will take it.
Any more discussion?
Fine.
All right. Hearing none, roll call vote.
Aye.
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 All right. Motion passes. All right. Then we move to item 2.
Yep, so this is to approve the resolution granting partial abandonment from County Ditch number 10. If you remember the public hearing, the Kubashes were being charged like they own 76 acres when they only own 8.
Yep.
So I'll make a motion to adopt the findings and orders for granting the permission
I'll second that.
petition to remove properties from County Ditch 10 for the Kubash.
Motion made by Commissioner Vetch, seconded by Commissioner Burrell. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none? Roll call.
Aye.
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 All right. Motion
And-
passes. Thanks, Matt, for all you do on this.
Madam Chair, I want to also thank Matt, for coming out, and it was that Monday or Tuesday, and spending the better part of the day finding tile in the ground and hopefully getting some process moved forward on ditch 33 on 90th Street there.
Yeah, I'm going out there right now.
Going out there again right now? Well, I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt.
Boots? Oh, yeah.
All right. Moving on to items for consideration, the Wright County Economic Development Partnership defer enterprise loan fund payments for up to 90 days. Administrator Kelly.
Thank you, Board. As you recall, I introduced this at our prior board meeting. I had some discussion with Dwayne Northagen, and Initiative Foundation has decided to delay or defer payments required of the people they have loans to for 90 days. He'd reached out to me wondering if we wanted to take a similar stance with the initiative, or excuse me, with the enterprise funds that we have. So what they had done is held it off for 90 days. We currently have 2 businesses that we have loans on. If we'd want to entertain that or a discussion, I can go back to me.
Commissioner Potter.
Madam
Chair,
Chair.
I will make a motion that we defer the enterprise loan payment funds for 90 days.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Commissioner Burrell, seconded by Commissioner Potter. Commissioner Potter, did you have some comment?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. We're not in our county with our loans are not in peril by any sense. Either one of those companies is in good shape, but it's since the Initiative Foundation did it, it's probably good to just follow suit with it. These companies might not even do the deferral. They might keep making the payments, but they might also take the deferral because retail has been hurting bad right now. And I applaud Dwayne for staying on top of that and letting us know what the options are and what other people are doing.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Delight.
I agree. If they don't need to do it, I wouldn't think they would want to defer it.
Right.
But yeah, only they know their situation. So if we're capable of doing it, I think that now would be prudent time
Yep.
to do it.
Yep, good point. Any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Aye.
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 All right, motion passes. The coronavirus, COVID-19, any updates or Administrator Kelly?
Well, I think as Commissioner Delyden indicated, I think we're kind of waiting to see what the governor's going to do as far as extending out the order. I'm anticipating that's coming, as many others are. As you know, we have a meeting planned for Thursday this week. I'm not sure of other items you want to add on to that meeting as well, but I'm anticipating that will get extended probably towards the end of the month again. That's just my assumption. So that's mostly it. A couple things I would note. We did get notice from the state late Friday that we're able to do some transactions at the DMV again. So that's been going. Make sure the public knows about that. Also make aware, the CDC has put out a recommendation about face coverings. We're working on some language regarding that. Kind of as an FYI, there's been discussion amongst several of the county-related groups, MACO, AMC. There was some talk at the legislative level of moving back tax deadlines. The state is going to do something relative to that. It may come to the counties for a decision to be made, so trying to keep abreast of that, and that we're in line with what our partners are doing. So.
And you're referring to property taxes?
Correct, that's right. There's different proposals or thoughts about what to do. Some are, it seems the most interesting right now would be, rather than waiving a payment or delaying it, it would just be percentage. More to come. Nothing set in stone. I'm just wanting to make you aware of the discussions that are out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't had a chance to look, Bob emailed us a discussion with Sherburne County and some information regarding that.
And there certainly has, people are concerned about this if they've lost their jobs, and I know I've had requests to at least, reduce or forgive any penalties on these late payments if people aren't able to make it on time. So that's more that a state statute is the penalties. So if we can work with the state on that. And
Madam Chair.
So, sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Potter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On that subject here, a lot of people have their property tax escrowed, so the escrow company will still make it regardless.
Right.
So it's in there. For those that don't have that escrow option, if the state would allow, it would be nice to waive the penalty fee for 30 or 60 days or whatever that number turns out to be, to help those people a little bit, because it's been, some people, I'm sure it's going to be real challenging to make it on time. But, you know, if they say, okay, the state will allow us to waive the penalty for you getting it in on the 15th, that would be a step. We can't just waive the property tax, but
No.
waive the penalty.
Right.
But that's, again, up to the state to allow us to do that.
And I also like the idea of maybe you can only make half of this payment and then you make the other half, you know, whenever, but yeah, so we'll stay tuned to that and keep a close eye on it, but thanks.
Weren't the legislators meeting today? I thought I seen they were meeting today.
Madam Chair, noon for the House and 2 o'clock for the Senate on different COVID-19 and different issues
So
for
maybe-
voting on things.
Yeah, maybe they will discuss it today, or at least put it in for their next time they meet or something. Since we've got another month yet before it becomes a major issue.
Yep.
So, we'll have to see what they have to say. I heard the governor, it's a low priority to him, but the legislators may have a different tune.
So at this point, I'm planning, we're continuing with our meeting for Thursday that we had set. I did reach out with Jamie in Human Services. We talked about items that they would need to bring at the Thursday's meeting, and there are none that they need. So
Okay.
it would just be COVID-related items.
All right.
Planned at this time.
All right.
If you have items, topics you want to discuss at that meeting, please let me know. Really as soon as possible. We have to post today, so.
Yep. All right, thank you. Are there any advisory board updates?
Madam,
Go ahead.
Madam Chair, I was going to ask you to just become aware of myself going through and doing homeschooling with my 6 kids. And let me tell you, and doing it with an infant in the house, it's a challenge. Got me to thinking about, if you were a foster parent right now, and that is something that when you went into that, you didn't sign up to be a educator as well. And I just feel compelled that I think as a board, I want us to draft a letter letting them know that we recognize that the above and beyond efforts that they're taking on by dealing with a pandemic, fostering a child, and then being an educator on top of that, because it's a enormous amount of work.
It is.
So I wanted to draft a letter up, and I want it to be sent from behalf of the county board. So I'd like to have the commissioners sign off on it, and I think we should send it out to each and every one of them. So
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, it is
appropriate.
I mean, and to recognize parents for what they're going through now. I mean, you've got to keep your kids, you know, away from other people, and it's tough. I mean, having an only child, you know, in our home, and it's difficult. So he wants to go see his cousins, and he wants to do things with other people, and so anyway, yeah, thank you for that. Do we need a motion for that, or just a?
No, you can just draft that up.
Just get something going.
I'll put some administrative. I'm going to put together some verbiage, and then if you want to kind of template it on, and then just pass it around for signatures and.
Okay, will
That'd be
do.
good.
Let fourth floor look at it, make sure it's legal.
The Central Minnesota EMS, we had a Zoom meeting and approved buying, you know, and our director wasn't exactly able to describe it other than it's sort of like a squirt gun that disinfect ambulances. And so we authorized the purchase of that, and I haven't heard more about the specifics of it, but it's something that it just sort of, you know, fogs the insides it saves a lot of time, and it you know, disinfects them, and I think that we could use something like that for, I don't know, squad cars or whatever, but it's something that hopefully the price will, they're not cheap by any means, but it does come with a number of applications too, and I have to get back to Marion and find out if we've able to make the purchase, and if we can see just what exactly they look like, and, but, yeah, so.
And that'll be used just for Wright County, or that'll be used for?
In the region.
In the whole region?
Yeah.
So that's quite a few.
Yeah, it's like 25.
25 ambulances?
25 services, I think.
Who they
More to
just,
come.
they're gonna move it around then?
No, but, I mean,
So everybody will have to drive up to one location and get it done?
no, they'll each have their own,
Oh, so you're gonna have one for each?
right, yeah.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood.
Yeah, so, yeah, and I'll get more information about it, but just to let you know of some things that are going on out there that, to help with this effort, and certainly help support our people that are in the healthcare field and the law enforcement, and we're still out there responding to calls, and appreciate that, Sheriff, people. Anybody else?
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Potter?
Thank you, Madam Chair. First off, I want to say congratulations and thank you actually for the city of Monticello passing a resolution supporting our dental clinic, our MA dental clinic in the building there. I think it's important for the people to understand why we're doing that and the savings and everything that's associated with it. I'm hoping that we can get other cities to do it, because that's going to give us a lot of traction with people in the county. Why are you doing this? And when you see cities doing this, say, hey, we understand the importance of this, this makes sense, all of a sudden that fear factor goes away on this. Because you don't hear it from too many people, but there's a couple, call them ankle biters, that, why are we doing that? Well, we're going to save money on this thing. To me, it makes sense, but I want to say thanks to Mayor Stumpf and Monticello Council for doing that, because that was a good step for them to take. And thank you, Commissioner Vetch, for orchestrating that.
Yeah, and it's not savings strictly for Wright County, it's the savings for the state and the federal. So it's us doing our part to help everybody's taxes throughout.
True.
It's part of, Madam Chair, that's part of the thing that we're here for. Part of the mission is, hand up, not hand out. We're just helping these people, making sure they don't have future health issues, and that these are, to me, it's important. When you say the stats on poor oral hygiene leads to other things, and it'll cost us money, and the ER visits, that's real costly, and that monkey is clearly on our back if we do nothing.
Yeah.
And just soon eliminate that or negate as many of those payments as possible. So the other thing, Madam Chair, is last Thursday afternoon, the Highway 55 Coalition Executive Committee met. We did the virtual Zoom meeting. We did a couple of those last week, which is kind of unique, but it works pretty good.
Works.
It seems like probably one of the best platforms there. We talked about the legislative briefing, what's going on, materials there. We know that it's kind of low key right now, but we do anticipate that when the session has to statutorily end, that certain date in May, that the governor will be calling a special session. They're all gearing up towards that to come in and discuss a few things. We do have a House file and a Senate file for 55, inclusion in the bonding bill, for that, even though I'm not sure if it'll make the final cut, but we're going to keep at it anyway. And I want to thank Senator Anderson from Wright County here for being one of the co-sponsors of that bill here. Thank you, Senator Anderson, for that, because I was concerned about that one, because the House, we got that right away, and the Senate was a little bit slower, but I think it took a while to get up to them. The other thing is the MnDOT has had a couple shakeups here since Commissioner Zelli left and Margaret Anderson Kelleher came in there. She had a chief of staff who was kind of hard for me to connect with at times, and that person has resigned and gone on to other things, and now she appointed Jay Hiptas to the chief deputy, and that's a person that I've known and dealt with before, and very accessible, which is, I like that. I like being able to talk to somebody and have somebody call you back right away. So we're doing next steps with that, and we're going to probably have a couple more of those Zoom meetings with him and our cohorts in Hennepin County on steps moving forward. Like I say, the beauty of this one, we do have Metro MnDOT, Hennepin County, Met Council all the blessing, all the cards are falling in the right place, so hopefully, this is not a huge ask, it's like $40 million, but it will take care of quite a few things there. I still haven't heard of a resolution from Hennepin County supporting this, but it's there. They've got other things to deal with right now. They have a little bit bigger problem with COVID-19 than we do. Anyway, and the other issue that we talked about is the coalition SRF contract. We've been without a contract since 2017, and unfortunately SRF cannot bill us without a contract, so we went through the litany of what was going on there, and the executive committee made the approval of the contract to be signed by Virgil, one of their bean counter for the coalition there. And I did pass that on to Commissioner Hewson and Administrator Kelly, what we're doing there. So that was just cleanup item, and there's enough money in that account. I was thinking that we'd had to get some more money from the county, but there's enough money in that account to last us for a few more years. So it's just cleaning up a loose end that should have been taken care of a couple of years ago. Nothing major in the fee schedule that I sent to you for 2020. Keep in mind that I had them talk about the fee schedule for 2021, and the max it would increase was 3%, which is typical, so we know what the next year is on that. And that's all I have to report, Madam Chair.
All right. Anyone else?
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Blyden.
Actually, 2 items. For those that are 60 and over and Wright County residents, Wright County Community Action has a meal program for those people that are having issues with getting enough food or a frozen meal. You can order, enough for the whole month if you want to. There's something that has to be filled out. You can Google WCCA and the information will be on their website. Otherwise, you can contact me too at the county here. So that's available. They'll get delivered right to their homes. Trailblazer has stepped up to deliver those. So thankful to them for doing that sort of stuff. So it's a nice program. Right now, it's being really heavily used along the 12 corridor.
It is.
And then Buffalo here, they've gotten a distribution center set up. So they're trying to get things set up in each area for those that are in need of it. They've also, J&B Industries, or J&B Meats in St. Michael is providing free storage space to house all these frozen foods for the time being. And
Nice.
the Catholic Charities is the one that's working with us to do all this. So
Yeah.
hats off to everybody that's stepping up.
Is there any idea of the capacity that they can handle of the number of people that?
The way it sounds, they're ramping it up. It won't be an issue. They're getting full pallets of the frozen foods. I don't know what the menu items are. I believe that's all, and you can choose what you want. Again, all that information is a form that needs to get filled out, but again, it's for 60 plus residents of Wright County only. Greg, sorry, you're not Wright County, so you won't be able to do that. No.
He's not 60.
Never mind, I'm not 60.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was the gray that got me.
The fake beard. Madam Chair?
Commissioner Potter.
Commissioner Delyden, is this, I want to understand that there's no income verification qualification on this, is open to everybody? I read that somewhere, but I just want to verify that.
I can't answer that completely. I'm not sure, but I think there is somewhat of an income qualification, but I don't think it's something that they'll go out and look at. Just you saying, yes, I financially am in need of this. So it's self reporting on whether or not you need it.
And Madam Chair, why I ask that is some people that might be on that edge of where they might, why split hairs right now? Just if they request it, let them have it. Don't verify.
And pretty much that's about what it is.
Good. I'm happy to hear that, because you make it so it's not, you got to fill out a form, you got to go through this, and then people got to, that's not what we're in right now.
Yeah, Mike, you qualify, so don't worry.
No, the only one that doesn't qualify up here is Derek.
Right, Derek is the only one that doesn't qualify.
And he's the one with all the kids.
Yeah, with all the kids.
All right.
I can find out. And then, Madam Chair, I do have one other question. If we could get the IT guy up here for just a second.
Uh-oh.
That'd be you. To quote Admiral Akbar, it's a trap. My video. Yes, he will be. Son of a.
I don't want to hear any Navy slurs right now. No. I wanted to thank you for you guys of stepping up the whole IT department to get everybody going, be able to work from home and still function. A lot of things that we've been doing at the county, we're still doing just remotely. And the question I wanted to ask too, are we having any issues at all? Are things going along really well? Is it something, are we learning things that we need to figure out for the future? For the next?
Yes, yes, and yes. And I've asked multiple times, we're having little problems here or there. There's always hiccups. We find out there's a problem here, there's a problem there. A lot of them are fixable. Some of them are long-term, the speaker being an issue. This is something none of us anticipated. And so it's something we couldn't really prepare for. So we've been taking a lot of really good work. There's also a whole lot of, what you call spit, grit, and duct tape just to hold it all together. But big picture, we are doing very well, exceptionally well. And some of the problems that we've come up against have been overcome with a tremendous amount of effort. Just to call out a specific few, Mark Stoller pulled an all-nighter to put, because everybody at HHS needed their voicemails transitioned to their emails. It was 180 people.
Wow.
He stayed up all night to put 180 people, because he has to hand put it in, So a lot of people have gone above and beyond, and even then behind the scenes, the business analyst team is working behind the scenes and delivering a tremendous amount of work in this time period. So we're doing very well. And the problems we're putting together, we're putting a lessons learned sort of effort together so we can address them in the future. We know that this is unusual, but I think the whole team, and don't praise me by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I wasn't. You're the one here, so.
But yeah, no, the team has done an exceptional amount of work, including the, poor schmoes that have to come in every day to take care of the stuff, actually in the building. So we've got people working on all fronts. But the team has done exceptionally, including the schmoes.
Okay. One suggestion. I found that there's something superior to duct tape out there. It's called Gorilla Tape. So you may want to look at, instead of the duct tape, going to Gorilla Tape, because it holds up much better.
But spit, grit, and Gorilla Tape, it doesn't roll off the tongue. You
have to come up with 2 other words to precede that, yes.
Thank you, Matt.
All right. Commissioner Burrell, did you have any updates?
The only thing I mentioned, I did have Emergency Services Board last week before, and then Minnesota Rural Caucus. But one thing that I got from the caucus, we did talk a lot about the COVID-19 thing, and a lot of the outstate counties that do have a hospital, someone asked, well, how many ICU beds do they have? And I think the most that any of them had was 1. So hopefully this doesn't get real big out in the outstate area. They would not be able to handle it at all.
Yeah, they'd have to transport them to another hospital, I'm sure, but.
Yeah, unless they somehow could gear up, but it would probably not a good situation.
Right, yep.
That's all I had.
Administrator Kelly, anything to add? All right. If there's no other business, we are adjourned at 9:55.